My name is Linda Southward, and I am the Executive Director of the Children's Foundation of Mississippi. We are delighted to have a chat about children today featuring Daisy Carter, Executive Director of Excel by Five. But first, a little about the Children's Foundation. The Children's Foundation is about policy and systems change in Mississippi to improve outcomes for children, families, and communities. We believe at the Children's Foundation, for Mississippi to reach its potential, our children must reach their potential. Today, we're featuring Daisy Carter, who is the Executive Director of Excel by Five, where she serves as a trusted resource, leader, and advocate for teachers, parents, and children in Mississippi. Daisy believes her current position as Excel by Five Director allows her to contribute to developing children's social, emotional, cognitive, and physical needs to build a solid and broad foundation for lifelong learning and well-being. Before joining Excel by Five, Daisy was the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence Executive Director of Central Mississippi area. She's also served as the State Division Director for the Mississippi State Department of Health. Daisy is a native of Jackson, Mississippi, a graduate of Jackson State University, where she earned a master's degree in public policy and administration with a concentration in community and economic development. And Daisy seeks to promote positive community and economic growth through education. So welcome, Daisy. We appreciate you being here. It really sounds like in your current role that your background and experience and vision and passion really has come together to take Excel by Five to a different level. It's my understanding that you have a PowerPoint that you've prepared, and maybe we'll start with that and then have some discussion afterwards.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for allowing me to be here today and speak about Excel by Five. I've been a part of the organization for a short period of time, but it has already developed into something worldwide for me, professionally and personal. So yes, I'll go ahead and start that PowerPoint and we can go ahead and get started. So again, I'm Daisy Carter with Excel by Five, and a lot of people have asked me, what is Excel by Five? What is Excel by Five all about? And it's an innovative early childhood community certification process. It's focusing on the community's young children, 0 to 5 years old. We emphasize the important roles that parents and early childhood educators have on the lives of children in their most formative years. The overall goal of Excel by Five is to provide our communities with what they need in order to make sure that they build the children's foundation, have something for the foundation of the children and families overall. We want to make sure that our communities have what they need to strive to make sure that they produce great children in the workforce, in the field. So Excel by Five is certified communities. We have a total of 40 communities within Mississippi, as you can see on the map that shows you where we are actually located. So we have 40 Mississippi communities, and we have 8 potential candidates that are going through the certification process now. And then we also have 32 certified and 15 that are recertifying. So that basically means those 32 have been certified for 3 years and the 15 are going through their recertification process. So again, this is where we are on the map for 2021. So again, we're throughout the state of Mississippi, at the top, middle, and the bottom of Mississippi. We try to cover the complete state with Excel by Five certified communities. The 4 main focus groups for Excel by Five are community development, community involvement, family and parent support, and early care and education and health and safety. And I wanted to elaborate more on what community involvement actually means to Excel by Five. It's basically involving the community and providing children with the opportunity and building those relationships that they need that help them emotionally and physically to succeed in life. And again, we're focusing on children 0 to 5 years old. So the community involves the creation of support organizations, being positive and uplifting the community, as well as the parents, as well as the families, and that includes grandparents as well. We go back to that old saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and we believe that wholeheartedly in Excel by 5. And the program, we're able to implement community involvement through community coalitions, coalition meetings that we have, and a community needs assessment that we do within that community. So we're able to meet them where they are. So we know that all communities are not the same size, shape, or even the color, but we want to make sure that we're able to reach the communities or where they are and provide them the support and services they actually need. And we also hold town hall meetings, and we provide a resource guide for those communities as well. A part of the family and parent support, the community-based services that exist support the families and parents, and again, those caregivers. And those caregivers can be grandparents or anyone that's a caregiver or educator. And the services can take many different forms depending on the strengths and the needs of the family. So we provide that overarching, reaching goal to help parents enhance their skills and their problem-solving skills to make sure that they have the opportunity to promote optimal child development. And through family and parent support, we're able to give newborn packet information, provide resource centers for them to actually physically go to get that support that they need, and that support referral system that's also important for our families as well. And what we mean by early care and education is we want to actually increase opportunities for children to succeed in school overall. So we want to provide that high level or high quality education for children before they turn 5, so that they're more likely to be ready for kindergarten. So children in early child care education programs, they are more likely to be identified if they have developmental delays or special needs, and they're more prepared for academically for later grades and less likely to repeat a grade. And we also want to make note that they're higher earners in the workforce. That's why we always encourage our professional organizations and agencies to get behind Excel by 5, because these potential students, potential children will become their workforce. They're actually going to be working in the field at some day. So it's awesome for the organizations and businesses to get behind Excel by 5, because soon those little children will become employees in the community. And so we do this by doing training events. We provide continuing education opportunities for those teachers, those caregivers, and we also support in-home providers as well. And we do awareness activities. For health and safety, that should be, of course, a top priority for childhood educators, but we want to make sure that the teachers and caregivers are trained and prepared to care for those young children in the best way. And we believe that healthy and safety environments respect both the physical and social and emotional being for children birth to kindergarten as well. And we do this through an implementation of different health fairs. We do early intervention services. And of course, those can highlight developmental issues or problems that a child may be facing. We provide them with physical therapy, where they can go for speech and language therapy, and also special instructions. And we're able to do those parent trainings and family trainings as well. So our state office, the state Excel by 5, we have all the communities certified throughout Mississippi. But the state office, what we do primarily is provide a community coach for direct and indirect support for training. Again, that's to go into the communities and say, hey, what do you need? We're here. We can help you become a certified and then keep that certification. And then what other services and support linkage could we possibly do? So that makes it even more special that you have a community coach that actually goes directly into that community and helps those leaders do the foundation work, do the groundwork that's needed in order to become certified and keep that certification. And I wanted to also highlight that we facilitate the alignment of educational systems as well. So we have full support with Department of Education and other the certification and the licensure office that they support Excel by 5 as well. So the state office, we are the gears that actually help the change and improvement of childhood education in Mississippi overall. So we do that by, providing that one-on-one, that hands-on support as well. And we measure our progress by community growth as well as community outreach, the number of people that attend our functions, the number of people that are out there that know about us, and those community partnerships. We also measure our progress and our success by increased number of certified communities. And lastly, how do you become certified? How does your community become certified? You have to go through an application process with Excel by 5. It's not difficult at all. It is very simple to do. You can schedule an informational session with the state office by calling or emailing us and letting us know that you're interested. And then we have a community conversation meeting. And of course, that's bringing leaders from your community and like-minded individuals who want to exceed in early childhood education and becoming a part of the Excel by 5 certification program. And we bring those like-minded individuals together to make sure that the community has what it needs in order to become certified. You complete an application, of course, and you have those partners in place and those steering committees, and also your certification manager to make sure that you are meeting the standards of where they are and, of course, maintaining them. And then you're accepted by the Excel board of directors. Your applications is accepted. And that's about it when it comes to applying for the certification. So I'm going to stop my sharing, and see if you all have any questions regarding everything that I've just shared in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, well, Daisy, thanks so much for sharing this and putting this in the different components, like the 4 major areas. And I'm very impressed with the 4 major areas. And then within each of those areas, there are specific areas that you took a look at. But when we think about Excel by 5 and the map that you showed earlier, there is quite a presence across the state. Tell us, when was Excel by 5 established? I remember it was many years ago, but I can't remember the exact year.
2001. So fully engaged. We received a generous donation from our funder, which is Chevron. They provided a donation directly to the organization. They believed in our mission and our vision, and we got started right in 2001. Since then, of course, we've expanded our reach throughout Mississippi and also enhanced our program standards. So yes, 2001.
Well, I'm obviously much older than you, and I remembered, but I couldn't remember that it's been like almost 2 decades, or 2 decades, more than that now, but couldn't really remember the exact year. So there are many across the state, many in the candidacy phase, some in the application, some in the recertification. There's also, as many as there are over the 2 decades of work, there's still obviously pockets across the state where there is not an Excel by 5 presence. So you gave the information at the end. If someone is interested in this, they can send an email to info@Excel-by-5, and there's a telephone number that we'll have on the screen later as well. What are some of the leaders in the community saying when you said earlier, and it is absolutely true, to effectively to promote children in the community, to get as many components as engaged as possible, because the workforce of tomorrow are the workforce who are in these early child care centers and in school, et cetera, right now. So having so many multiple partners coming together, what are some of the things that individuals within the communities have said on why they believe it's important to be certified and then to be recertified? So what are those conversations like?
So the belief of establishing, having a certification with Excel by Five is, for one, it's a, one of a kind. It's the first in the United States. And Mississippi is the only state that has it. So that's a benefit in itself. And the certification program identifies the gaps within the communities and encourages collaborations and volunteerism and promotes economic development and things like that, and basically addresses the child's overall needs. And so, what people are basically saying is that this is needed, it's necessary, it's unique, it's an opportunity for professionals and child care providers, and also families to give them what they actually need to make sure that they're providing the most information and the most resources to their children before they turn age 5, before they go to kindergarten. And that's really, really important. We want that foundation to be set there. And unfortunately, a lot of parents and families are unaware of the services that Mississippi has to offer. You can Google it, and they automatically think that those services are not within Mississippi or not within their reach, or those services come at a cost. But the Excel by Five allows you to we identify those support services that you actually need and within your community, so they are accessible, they are within reach, and majority of those services are free at no cost to the family. Again, we want to make sure that the community has what it needs to be certified, and then also maintain that. And so it just takes again a village to raise a child, and we want to make sure that people have what they need in the communities.
Exactly. And the first 5 years, as we know, were so important, particularly the first 1,000 days, or around 3 years of a child's life, because of the neurons developing and the brain activity, et cetera. And so much in the last 20 or 30 years has come about in regard to the developing brain, and how important that is early on in a child's life. One of the things you mentioned too is having children in the community as ready as possible for kindergarten and even pre-K in Mississippi. And we know that pre-K funding has increased over the years, but it's still not accessible. State-funded pre-K is still not accessible to all children, which also increases the importance of this quality early care and education. And you mentioned many of the benefits of having quality early care and education. Tell us about how, and you also mentioned, which is absolutely true, that every county and community is different, just as every family and child are different. How is it that the communities then are able to really take a look at what's unique about their community and assess what the unmet needs are? And maybe give us some examples of what communities are doing specifically.
Sure. So, and during the application process of becoming certified, we complete, or the community does, a community-based assessment, basically to see where those gaps fold and what services they actually need. And so Excel by Five goes, the state office and our community coaches, we go in to help them assess those needs and see what focus areas they need and how to improve them. So for an example, a community may not have a potential library, or think that their library can provide them with the services that they need. So say for instance that an organization or a service such as a hearing test for your child, or speech, they may need speech therapy. They can go to their community resource center, which could possibly be their library, and ask those questions and get that support that they need. Those resource centers that we establish within the community provide them with a host of information that they could possibly utilize. And again, majority of the time it is free. So I think I answered your question. We may have to go back to that.
So you mentioned earlier about funding from Chevron, and Chevron has really invested in this throughout the years. What about on the local level? Are there other local corporations or businesses that also invest in a local Excel by 5?
Yes. So once our communities become certified, there is some cost that may be added to it. Again, becoming an Excel certified, becoming a certified community is at no cost to you. However, communities may incur some cost due to either the coalition meetings or having certain events. And these funds that they need can be raised through community contributions or in-kind services within their community. So for local communities, they can reach out to their local banks, things of that nature. And again, being this program being so unique and bringing that to local banks or businesses to get behind them makes it even more of an impact. So they're highlighted even more to say, oh, okay, so this is a certified organization. This is something that you're meeting standards and quality. You're meeting that overall arching goal of becoming certified and providing community services. So of course, they'll back you. They back our communities 100% of the time. The state office receives donations, general contributions, and we also receive grants through other organizations such as Ingalls and again, Chevron. They back us as well, and they believe in our mission and vision. So they continue to fund the state office, and then the certified community organizations can receive local donations from their businesses and banks and things of that nature in their area. They're able to apply for those grant opportunities and say that they are a certified community organization.
Because it's what's good for children is good for really the economic development within a community. As earlier we've talked about how important this is to have citizens, to raise children who are going to be productive, contributing citizens. And that really starts with quality early care and education, so that children then can be on track if there's problems or concerns that need to be identified in early referral and intervention, et cetera, so that the child can matriculate through their educational process. Tell us some about the what this means to early care and education educator providers within the community, and the developing of leadership among individuals within a community. How have you seen that transpire?
So through the certification, through the program, again, it demonstrates that, the community as well as the educators are committed to superior professionalism. They uphold early childhood education standards, and they continue learning and want to improve. So that helps them, not only generate revenue in early childhood education and in the community, it helps develops partnerships and pursue other community opportunities as well. So that the Excel by 5 is definitely promoting professionalism, and to go out there and do the groundwork that needs to be done.
That's tremendous. And so let's say that someone in the listening audience is in one of the counties that there's not an Excel by 5 presence. We talked about the info at Excel by 5 and the telephone number. Would there be an opportunity for someone in a community who's beginning to think about this, then to connect with another Excel by 5 community, so that there could perhaps be some peer-to-peer learning and support?
Absolutely.
Is that part of what you would help coordinate from the start?
Absolutely, yes. They are able to make those connections. They can definitely reach out to other certified communities just to see, what it is all about, what the benefit is there. I'm sure the communities, I'm most certainly that they're willing to share their progress, the roadblocks that they may have seen, the barriers that are there, and what it takes to make those reach those standards. So yes, we definitely be able to link them with other certified communities and those who are going through that process. So yes.
Well, that would have to be helpful
Oh yeah.
for individuals considering this. And then I guess as we've said a couple of times already, every community is different. And I guess the time period from making an application, the needs assessment, making an application, is there sort of an average length of time from when one community reaches out to where they are being certified?
So yes, there is an application process, and it usually requires to complete the application process and becomes Excel by 5 certified. The normal time frame is 2 years. However, it will vary based upon the strength or how organized the community is, and what sort of resources actually currently exist. So say, for instance, they need a resource center, they don't have a local library that they can establish that resource center, then we have to select and find a location to house that resource center. So it could anywhere be from 2 years to the minimum number takes about 12 months to become certified and meet those standards.
Well, and it gives time for the communities to reflect and really, I guess, determine, as you said, what the needs are and what the best pathway forward is on that. So, as we know, time seems to go by very fast often. So, a year or 2 years, then to have this certification for your community, and there must be celebrations all over the state once a community becomes certified by Excel by 5. Would you like to share any of that?
Oh yeah, so we do a very large celebration. Once we help build those relationships, everyone comes out and cheers them on about the certification process. That's a huge award that the community receives by Excel by 5. Our board of directors come out and celebrate. And then we also do what we consider our end of the year celebration as well, which is our annual summit that we have. And that's where we get all of our communities together and provide them with additional support and services and information that they possibly need to continue what they're doing, and provide them with professional development resources on teaching practices and anything that's trending that they could actually pick up and implement here in Mississippi. And that summit, due to COVID, has been virtually, but this year we're actually having it in person.
Oh, that's terrific. I've been to several through the years, and you're absolutely right. It's a celebration, and there's a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of new things to learn, and friendships, colleagues, renewal, etc. So will it be in the fall of the year this year?
It will. It will actually take place on October 4th of this year. It will take place at Eagle Ridge Conference Center in Raymond, Mississippi.
Okay, so that could be an opportunity for communities who are just maybe even thinking about becoming an Excel by 5 community to come to the conference.
Oh yes,
and to learn more about what's going on, and meet other people there. So individuals through your website, I
yes,
suppose, would be able to register for this.
they can. They can register at our website. They can contact us by phone or email, and they can also follow all the information regarding the summit on our social media, which is our Facebook and Instagram page.
Oh, that's terrific. I think that's probably a good place to, and you've answered a lot of the questions we've had today and that we've talked about. Is there anything else you'd like to leave with the audience?
Sure, yes. I definitely want to make note of our reach that we currently have done this year. We've gathered a couple of data information. Even with COVID, we've still been able to reach a significant amount of families and children, especially families with children under the age of 5. So last year we directed, or our direct project benefits are around 40,000. So that's about 40,000 families that we've reached within Mississippi and provided direct services to them, and about 8,000 of indirect services. So that's our community coaches making those referrals and those one-on-one connections, and also partnering with other agencies as well. So that means basically about 35% of all children under the age of 5 are in Excel by 5 community. So about 35% of children 5 and under are in Excel by 5 community.
Well, that's tremendous. And so congratulations on the work that has been done to date, and best wishes for expanding this. So there's lots of opportunities out there to connect with other Excel by 5 communities, to with the state office directly. And we want to encourage people to come to the summit in October.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Daisy, for what you're doing and for your vision and for the work going forward. We're so pleased that you made time to be a guest on this Chat About Children, sponsored by the Children's Foundation of Mississippi. Thank you.
Thank you.